Evans 4x4 or the Wraith, the Phantom, or the Virgil, you can get a job over here. You know, while you moonlight as the stripper that you start.
Rolly Romero has likely been the most justified of the hordes of boxing pros and fans to troll Devin Haney and Bill Haney.
It's a basic question, Rolly, but he asks you, how do you plan on defeating Pitbull Cruz?
What happens when a dog bites you?
You go, ouch.
You put him down.
After losing to Isaac Cruz, Rolly Romero was told by Bill Haney to seek a valley job. Now, Rolly has pulled off a comeback taunt directed at both father and son. Hear him out.
Like I said, his team was supposed to be supposed to pull him off. Like I said, and it speaks really shitty of his team to let him continue if they do.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. We outside when we winning, and we outside in defeat.
The fact that Ryan Garcia defeated Devin Haney a few hours ago surprised a lot of people in the boxing community. That's what happens when you go into a fight as a plus 550 underdog. Garcia defeated Haney 3 times before winning by majority decision in one of the most bizarrely chaotic, and occasionally exciting fights you'll ever witness in a boxing ring. Although Garcia wins, he does not take home the WBC super lightweight title, which still belongs to Devin Haney. Garcia missed weight on Friday, making him ineligible to win the title. But any win is cause for celebration, particularly one this clear-cut against an old enemy. Devin Haney should be grateful that Ryan Garcia entered the pound overweight. If not, he would not only have lost the fight and broken his undefeated record, but he would have also lost his belt. Ryan Garcia must be having the time of his life. Regretfully, Haney has found himself at odds with numerous peers as a result of his father's eagerness to jump into arguments and become involved in contentious debates.
Can't say anything bad. He fought a great fight. He did everything that he said he was going to do. And Rolly's definitely showed heart, though. You got to take your hat off to him.
Me and Bill, we've been keeping this a secret a very long time. I'm actually Devin's biological father.
As a result, it seemed as though the entire boxing world was waiting for him to lose, even though many had picked him to win due to rumors about his alleged mental health problems. They believed that Garcia wasn't healthy enough to compete in the match, and that the fight would be an easy win for the Dream. However, after 2 months of disturbing behavior, Ryan Garcia produced 12 excellent rounds in a fight that split the boxing community before the first bell. Garcia was forced to submit to psychiatric testing in order to prove he was not damaged and forced to defend himself against a number of ludicrous accusations.
Me and Rolly, we got a lot of history together. Y'all seen us talk a lot of shit to each other. But, I want to take the high road, and I want to just tell him, hold his head up. He fought like a...
The story of the private fight was Garcia's alleged public breakdown. He simply got to work. It was the greatest fight of his youth, both inside and outside the ring, and he gladly transformed it into a struggle for his mental health. Everything was masterfully staged, a ploy to deceive Haney, the referees, and the spectators. After missing the cut, Garcia drank a beer, talked to his demons, and continued working with the enormous and amazing scammer. Though Haney was never one to believe anything, the proof was strong. Garcia is an expert manipulator on social media and a social media savage. It was very simple to overlook the fact that the two had faced off 3 times each in their amateur careers. Garcia has a true grasp of social media and is a true fighter. Garcia appeared too insane to be insane, and several of his 3 a.m. The outbursts were astounding. Despite his eccentricities, Garcia does not exhibit signs of mental instability. Those who doubted his sanity and skeptics were proven wrong by him, and it's noteworthy to note that many of them were happy about it. After his first defeat, they trolled the champion and his father on social media. Tank Davis was one of them. He even didn't say anything to Devin Haney, preferring to focus on Bill Haney, who has never shied away from being his controversial self in the ring, in interviews or even in private. After initially predicting Devin Haney would win, Shaker Stevenson resorted to social media to make a fairly convincing accusation against Haney. Michael Benson is hailed by Andreas and other professional combat sport competitors. Brendan Matt Brown George Masvidal, Elaine Sterling, Frank Martin, Manny Pacquiao, and countless others took to social media and responded in interviews, with some sending some heavy trolls to both Devin Haney and his father Bill Haney. Once the match was over, Rolly Romero, who recently lost his World Boxing Association Super Lightweight Championship title to Pitbull Cruz, made a public appearance on social media, one that's been quite rare ever since his loss against Isaac Cruz, to troll both Devin Haney and his father. He wasn't the one to shoot the first bullet, however, as Bill Haney had earlier fired a shot at him after his loss against Isaac Cruz, but unknown to Bill Haney, nature was soon going to present a perfect gift to Isaac Cruz and would give him the very best platform to revenge, and he graced the occasion in fashion, using every bit of detail to his advantage. He said, "Love to see Bill Haney's face after this now, who wants the Valley job, idiots." For those that may have misunderstood Rolly Romero's comments, he was only returning the favor earlier done to him by Bill Haney.
For or the Wraith, the Phantom, or the Virgil, you can get a job over here. You know, while you moonlight as the stripper that you started out as.
Not too long after Rolly Romero suffered his second defeat in 17 fights at the hands of Pitbull Cruz, Devin Haney's father, Bill Haney, was seen on video being questioned about the matchup between Romero and Cruz. In a few remarks, he described Pitbull as a fine small fighter, a description that is eerily similar to Floyd Mayweather's. Subsequently, he was requested to evaluate Romero's performance in the ring. He performed even worse than Ryan Garcia, who had recommended influencer boxing to him.
The only fight I care about right now is Ryan Garcia. And then the winner between that and me and Ryan gets Gervonta Davis. We're going to do this all on pay-per-view, on Showtime pay-per-view. We're going to do this shit, all right? Like I said, at the end of it, I got the belt. I make the shots.
Hey Rolly, if you want to park Devin's 4x4 or the Wraith or the Phantom or the Virgil, then you can get a job over here, you know, while you moonlight is the stripper that you started out as. Have a good one, Bill, Haney said with an outburst of laughter. However, before his father showed up to say otherwise, Devin Haney had earlier sent some words of encouragement to Rolly Romero to stay strong amidst the adversities he faced after his second loss in his last 3 bouts. It was Devin Haney who, in an interview, was intentional about not speaking as of Rolly Romero, despite the two boxers having a very controversial and heated history together. Notwithstanding, Devin Haney had some words of motivation and respect for Rolly Romero before his father switched roles and joined the long list of professionals to troll him. The Dream was in a conversation regarding his upcoming bout against Ryan Garcia when he was suddenly asked for his thoughts on how Isaac Pitbull's Cruz fared against Rolly. The interviewer was also keen on knowing what Haney felt about Romero's knockout loss. "He looked good, can't say anything bad, he fought a great fight. He did everything that he said he was going to do," said the WBC light welterweight champion about the new WBA belt holder. Then moving on, Devin Haney said that Romero displayed resilience, hence one cannot refrain from paying respect to his fortitude. He said he showed you no resilience, that he got hurt, kept fighting, got hurt again, kept fighting. He could have quit when they were asking him if he wanted to stop the fight. He said he wanted to keep fighting, so I took my hat off to him. It was a really sad ending for Rolly Romero, as the pre-fight events saw Romero shooting his mouth off trash, talking the Mexican boxer. However, the latter reserved his talking for the ring, and eventually, as it turned out, a few took the opportunity to blast Rolly Romero for becoming too big for his boots. Regardless, as he spoke, Devin Haney proved that he can buck the trend, he can stand up for what he feels is right. Anyone that heard Devin Haney speak in the viral interview would believe he had only good thoughts concerning Rolly Romero. Unfortunately, his father did the opposite, and when Rolly Romero was coming with his retort, he cared less about distinguishing between father and son. He instead trolled them together and called them ugly names. Also, it must be remembered that Rolly Romero also has a very bad history with Ryan Garcia, and if at all he was to make a pick ahead of this bout, choosing any of the two must have been some difficult work for him. And if he did make a pick, it must have been for purely boxing reasons. Me and Bill, we keeping this a secret a very long time. I'm actually Devin's biological father. See, but that trick is enough. It's a deadly last pump. This was just as awful as Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney's rubber bout. I want to watch 8 and 9 after this. Devin Haney, though, was all praise for Rolly Romero. In a terrible way, Ryan Garcia came for him. After losing to Mexico's Isaac Pitbull Cruz via technical knockout and forfeiting his WBA light welterweight title, Ryan Garcia delivered a brutal blow to Rolly Romero. Pitbull Cruz, a much smaller fighter at 54 who moved up from lightweight to meet Rolly, also won via knockout in Rolly's 2022 loss against Davis. The unfortunate aspect of the matter, according to a credible news source, is that the boxer, who was born in Las Vegas, abandoned discussions to face Garcia, who challenged him from lightweight when there was a chance to earn much more money. The unfortunate aspect of the matter, according to a credible news source, is that the boxer, who was born in Las Vegas, abandoned discussions to face Garcia, who challenged him from lightweight when there was a chance to earn much more money. The unfortunate aspect of the matter, according to a credible news source, is that the boxer, who was born in Las Vegas, abandoned discussions to face Garcia, who challenged him from lightweight when there was a chance to earn much more money. The unfortunate aspect of the matter, according to a credible news source, is that the boxer, who was born in Las Vegas, abandoned discussions to face Garcia, who challenged him from lightweight when there was a chance to earn much more money. The unfortunate aspect of the matter, according to a credible news source, is that the boxer, who was born in Las Vegas, abandoned discussions to face Garcia, who challenged him from lightweight when there was a chance to earn much more money. The fighter, who was born in Las Vegas, could have made a lot more money fighting Garcia in the main event, but he chose not to enter the ring to face Pitbull Cruz in the Tim Tszyu vs. Sebastian Fundora match, according to a trustworthy news source. This is a sad aspect of the situation. Additionally, according to Bill, the news source, Rolly Romero ought to be upset with whoever persuaded him to forego a fight with Garcia in favor of a lower-paying matchup with Pitbull. Romero chose to fight Cruz, forcing Garcia to rematch with Devin Haney, whom he had defeated by major decision just hours earlier. Romero and Garcia were allegedly near to agreeing on about this spring. However, Romero's inexperience, along with the fact that his chin was already damaged and his body was incapable of taking another blow, even though those weren't particularly strong blows, led Kingery to believe Romero was done. After Romero was defeated by Pitbull Cruz, Ryan Garcia posted on social media, saying that Romero simply couldn't take a blow. It is accurate. Some said Rolly was never a decent boxer, and he mentioned that his promoter at Mayweather Promotions has done a great job of guiding him to success. Rolly didn't want the fight after that year or the half-break that followed, even though I was pushing for it hard during my comeback fight. Even after I defeated Tago and even after I defeated Fortuna, he was still not interested in it. Following Romero's TKO loss to Isaac Pitbull Cruz, Ryan Garcia wasted no time in criticizing his media rival. He took to social media platform X and tweeted again, recalling the time Rolly thought he had pulled a fast one on him by choosing to fight Pitbull at the last minute and then going on to get knocked out. Garcia also suggested that Romero should compete in influencer crossover boxing and stated he thought Dean the Great would defeat him. I think Dean defeats Rolly, and I'm not kidding when I say that Rolly needs to practice influencer boxing. For those who are unaware, Dean the Great is one of the better crossover boxers and has faced off against several elite professionals, like Tank Davis and Sergio Garcia. Before his defeat, though, Romero quickly set aside their disagreement to voice worries about Ryan Garcia's mental state when Ryan started acting strangely. Rolly Romero's comments regarding Garcia's mental health won over more people to Garcia's cause than those who thought it was all an act. Romero recently appeared in an interview with FightBuzz, setting aside his problems with Garcia to emphasize the gravity of Garcia's position. Garcia's antics on social media 2 months prior to his fight with Devin Haney raised doubts about the fight ever taking place. In his statement to Ron Goodall, Rolly Romero asserted that Ryan Garcia lacked a reliable source. Given Garcia's mental state, Romero implied that he needed the help of those in his immediate vicinity as what he is going through is serious. Romero emphasized that because he is speaking, you all should cease disparaging him and all of this. It's a cry for assistance. Romero, the once World Boxing Association champion, went so far as to imply that Garcia might be telling the truth, and that everyone is merely calling him insane. When asked earlier if he thought Garcia's fight on April 20 would go through, Romero responded that the Victorville native didn't need to fight because Kingery had already defeated Devin Haney in December. Romero believed that because the child was wealthy, a struggle wasn't necessary. After letting the child sit down and make his life simpler, returned him to the ring and emphasized again how crucial it is that Garcia's circle of friends and family remain close. I believe Romero lacks people he trusts, despite his insistence that those who truly care about him need to be close to him. Romero undoubtedly put aside his grudge against Garcia in order to stand by him, but that cannot be said of him a few months earlier. Even though it appeared that Ryan Garcia was unfit to face Devin Haney, he was busy being taught and prepared by Floyd Mayweather, the boxing icon, and Derek James, the very best of trainers. Even though Ryan Garcia gave Davis his star power in April of last year, when they collaborated on a blockbuster that significantly surpassed pay-per-view sales expectations. One thing that was most obvious about him was how much he had learned from his fight against Tank Davis. Not just about boxing, but also about other aspects of contractual agreements. Garcia's jawline and torso were compromised when Davis exploited his leverage as a diversion to insert a rehydration provision. With the benefit of hindsight, Garcia's promoter Oscar De La Hoya and others were among those who chastised him for giving away too much during the negotiations, and it is evident how much Garcia learned from the unfavorable fallout. Ryan Garcia and Oscar De La Hoya, the creator of Golden Boy Promotions, eventually got into a heated argument over this. They even sued themselves after severely defaming one another. Ryan Garcia believed he was being taken advantage of and tricked, but De La Hoya persisted in his belief that Garcia had given too much away during the negotiations. Rather than attempt to impose a similar contractual requirement on Haney, who was the clear winner, Garcia decided to forcibly reclaim the title because of how carelessly he missed weight, incurring a $600,000 fine. This was done despite the fact that Haney is a major player in the division and had just returned from rehydrating up to 25 pounds when he defeated Regis Prograis. In the end, Garcia's choice to take a chance on the humiliation, drinking a beer on the ceremonial weigh-in scales on Friday, to probe his intentions in December proved to be crucial. He said 140 by the end, you know. At 140, here I am. I own the belt, as you are aware. It's imperative that you come retrieve the belt. That fight, you know, is what has been requesting for a very long time, and from what I've heard, it's the biggest fight in boxing at the moment. And not only did Garcia not put a ton of stress upon his body to make the 140 pounds limit, he was fresher in the second half when he rallied to score knockdowns in rounds 10 and 11, to provide just enough of a cushion to steal the decision in a fight in which he was largely outclassed outside of the rounds. He scored knockdowns, and his immense performance did his boxing reputation some good after he had been looked down upon by many who claimed he had fought no real boxers, and Devin Haney was far richer when it came to experience. Ryan Garcia's win has not only made him the face of boxing for this moment, but it's also rewritten every narrative that's been published about him in a sport like boxing, where top stars only perform twice per year, and you are only deemed as good as your last performance in the public eye. Garcia's upset drastically flipped the reputations of both fighters. Not only will Garcia's dangerous antics be hailed as geniuses moving forward, giving him a justification to act even more brash in the future, the win instantly places him in the driver's seat as the biggest star of the moment in and around the 140-pound division. Garcia may choose from almost any well-known opponent for his next fight, and an instant rematch with Haney is still a strong possibility. After the fight, Garcia stated he wishes to campaign at 147 pounds going forward, citing problems in even making 143 for this fight. The most important thing Garcia accomplished this evening was to maintain his reputation as a top fighter, one that had almost completely vanished due to Davis's facile handling of him in the previous year, and would have probably never recovered had he fallen to Haney after such an odd few months. On the flip side, the fallout feels pretty extreme already for Haney, as those who question his punching power coming in already feel justified in doing so. But how about those who had ranked in the top 5 of the pound-for-pound list for as perfect as Haney had looked as a professional who appeared already on his way toward Hall of Fame inevitability? It was his surprising inability to avoid Garcia's lone weapon that will greatly question how good he truly is. While much of that overreaction will likely be unfair, especially as the chin and heart Haney showed against Garcia continues to be overlooked, the justifications for such belief is already there. Haney was expected to handle Garcia with ease regardless of his mental state, and failed to hurt or slow him down all that much before proving lucky to survive once the final bell was rung. And after Garcia had sent him some trolls following his loss, it was Romero who has made headlines for joining the trend. And that's all for now. If you enjoyed watching this video, kindly react by clicking the like button. Stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get alerted when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.